Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Tuesday, January the 9th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We create two main hypotheses and then two expansion hypotheses. We don't know what the market's going to do. We simply look at what the normal auction would look like based on who's in control, and then develop a plan, and then wait for the market to show us, and then execute the plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog, this is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. So taking a look at yesterday, our main hypothesis was a open auction in range, a push up to close the gap, possibly a false breakout, and then a rotation down into this lower volume area and basically chopping sideways. Hypo 2 was an open auction in range, a push down into the LVN, then finding responsive buyers, and then rotating us up and into new all-time highs and towards that measured move at 2750. And that's basically what we got. We went up, didn't quite get to the 2750. We put a new RTH all-time high end, and basically we just went sideways, created another double distribution day. This trend is just unrelentless. Taking a look at it on the big picture, you can see that we had our breakout gap, our continuation gap. We were looking to see if this became a exhaustion gap or a runaway gap. This became a runaway gap. Then we had 2 days consolidation. 2-day VPOC is at 46.75, and now we're likely to see, we're trading above the prior day range right now at 27.51. We're likely to see another gap up. And the one thing that's very interesting about this whole move is if you look below us, since we've opened the year, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trading days of the year so far, we have not come back and closed the gap and taken out the VPOC. This is quite unusual. It's certainly amazing that this market has no pullback whatsoever in 2018 so far. Let's just take a step back and take a look at the news. We've got Red Book coming out in 4 minutes. We've got Cash Gary speaking from the Fed at 10, and then we've got JOLTS job openings as well at 10. Then 11:30, we've got the 4-week bill auction. 1 o'clock, we've got the 3-year note, and the weekly crude oil stock API at 1:30, and that's it for the news today. Of course, there can always be headline news. We never know. I like to also start my day taking a look at a simple candlestick chart, and I pay attention to the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA and any patterns that I may see. What I'm basically doing is that with the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA, I'm gauging the strength of the trend. Do we have good slope, good separation? Is the trend intact? Is it challenging the trend by testing the 9? Is it possibly a trend change by breaking below the 20 SMA? You can see that we've been following this upward sloping fork. They've broken out above it right now, and making new all-time highs. These all-time highs again are being put in the Globex, making them what we call a unequalized all-time high. The RTH traders do not like to leave the all-time high alone after it's put in the Globex. They like to go up and test it. Therefore, it becomes a major target for us. But most importantly, the trend is intact and just continues to pull away. We've gone parabolic last week, breaking above the prior week. We are creating a technical gap here against the 9 EMA, but no signs of letting up. And I do have a measured move. It's a zipper measured move to 27.53, and we've come within 5 ticks of it so far. Going to the daily, you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far, possibly 6 days of one time framing up. First 5 days of the year, and it's all up. And going to the should mention though, there is this technical gap. We're going to get a pullback, and it's likely going to be one of those days that is going to take back all 5 of these days in one day and be done with it, and then start the walk up again. That's still a possibility. Going to the 4-hour, you see that we came back and tested that 9 EMA and bounced. We talked about that coming into the RTH session yesterday, and then we've come up and went sideways for most of the overnight session, and now we're going and making new highs. And this is not on any type of news. This is just there's no fear in this market. I don't think I've seen the VIX stay below 10 for this long in all my trading time. It's just incredible. Going to the 30-minute, you can see that again, we're one time framing up after putting in this fractal low down here at 46.50 and trading on the high right now. Going to the 5-minute, you see that we've created a bit of a flag and continuation, and we've put in a double top right now at the all-time unadjusted high, and good slope, good separation. There is technical gaps, but are they going to get filled? We don't know. So taking a look at the overnight session, is pretty much split in terms of inventory as being long or short. We opened up and we basically just chopped around the upper distribution, came down and tested the midpoint from the RTH session. Buyers stepped in and started grinding their way up, fought the range high from the RTH session, came back to the VWAP one more time, and then we blasted off, and here we are putting in new all-time highs and coming up into that zipper measured move. Just to show you the zipper measured move, here's the impulse wave off of the 42.75 into the zipper, and then the continuation, and the target on the zipper measured moves are always the 61.8 extension, and that takes us up into, well, it's 52.75. I said 53, but we're basically 2 ticks below that measured move right now. So taking our Globex, we're likely to even put more highs in, but our overnight low is down here at 42.75, right at that midpoint. Our high right now is at the 52.25. The super measured move should be right here. Our daily ATR is running 20 period full session. Average true range is running at 1641. So off of the low overnight, Our daily upside ATR is at 59.25. And so far, and again, this will likely change. We've got lots of time. 52.25 minus the 1641. Our downside daily ATR is down at 35.75. Come on. 35.75. Of course, we've got a strong kurtosis around the Globex VPOC. That's at 48.25. Basically, just fighting the value area high from yesterday and the range high. And then we've got this LVN in the double distribution. This LVN basically traverses 44.75 down to 44. This is going to be our over-under line. Below it, our bias switches to the short side. Above it, our bias remains to the long side. In terms of trade levels, we have created a little bit of an LVN here at 50.75. So I'm going to have a trade level there at 50.75. If we open up here at the 51.50 area, our half gap fill is going to be 48.25. And that's basically where we are on the overnight VPOC. So in terms of trade levels, there's really not much to guide us other than the overnight high so far at 52.25. We've got the range high yesterday at 48.50, but I'll be watching and using the value area high and the overnight VPOC and the half gap fill as a possibility of the first responsive buying and initiative buying. And then below that, we've got the naked close and the naked VPOC. Our over underline is going to be our key focus today. If we do come back below that, I'm targeting a takeout of the overnight low and a trip through value and down to where the VPOC was most of the day and back down into that 41 area. And that's going to be our key target down here at 41. It's also a trade area. In fact, let me do it that way. We'll just put it as a trade area. Trade areas are always targets, but they're also entry zones, and this will be a possible entry zone. And then down, we've got the day low at 37 with a move back down to the VPOC. And we get down below here, then we're starting to see the possibility that hypo 4 is going to come into play here. So let's talk about our hypos right now. Here we are one more time in a gap up. So this could be the exhaustive gap. We're going to watch to see if we get some heavy volume. If we see some heavy volume and two-way selling and we can't hold the open, then we could see a move back down and possibly coming down to close the gap. So hypo 1 is an open auction out of range. I'm looking for a move up to take out the overnight high and take out the measured move, the zipper measured move, and then I'm looking for somewhere up here in the mid 50s, responsive selling down into the half gap zone, chop around here, come down into the 46 to 44 area, base, and start working our way back up again, and basically going sideways in the upper distribution and fighting the range high in around that Globex VPOC at 48 and a quarter. Hypo 2 is an open auction out of range, a move down to the 48 area, possibly down to the 46 area to 44, but somewhere in this 4-point range. I'm looking for buyers to step in and rotate us up and take us up into new all-time highs towards that 2760. Hypo 3, open test drive, failure to close the gap or take out the naked VPOC yet again for the 6th straight day and take us up into new highs. How high we can go, I have no idea. We don't have a lot of news, so this could just be drifting up towards the 60 area and then just basically drifting back down and closing somewhere in around the 53 to 55 area. And then Hypo 4 is the breakdown day, open auction. Either fail to take out the high or just take out the high, and then rotate down, come into the zone, chop around here, come down to the LVN, fail, push down into the 40 level, chop around here, and then push down and come down and start taking out this repair. This, if you look at this, you see you don't see this very often. Look at the number of naked VPOCs that we are leaving below us. I mean, it just goes on and on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. When this rolls over, it's, it could get ugly because of the fact that we have so much unauctioned territory below us that we just continue to ignore. So those are my main hypotheses on ES. Taking a look at the gold, we talked about this $89 move and a consolidation for either a failure and a push back down towards this 13,086 area. I'm expecting a bit of a pullback. You can see that we're coming up on a $16 pullback now. The key level to hold, we're fighting right now at the 13s, below the 13s, 08, 09, and then 1300, of course, and possibly move back down towards the composite VPOC down here at the 1280 area. So that's the key level to watch. Above this, just expect more chop and consolidation in around the 15 to 19 area. Above the 23, looking for a break of that 27 and a push up into the 32.30. Nothing has changed in gold, in the last 5 days. We're just chopping in that distribution zone that we've been talking about and waiting to see which side of this value area gets broken, and do we pull back to pick up late buyers and do some repair work, or we consolidate for our next leg up and a push up into that 1330 and 1350 area. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.